Just a couple more days left with all my friends from LTV. And Gwen. Oh, how I'll miss Gwen. Hello, I'm Riley Kapchuk.
And I'm Gwen. Time flies when you're having fun, or at least that's what they say. This season has been such a blast, even with Riley by my side. I'm only joking. I'm going to miss doing the show with the next big rugby superstar beside me. But don't worry, we'll be back next semester with even more fun and games. You're watching the Home for the Explorers Athletics SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. We're wrapping up this semester and so are our athletics.
And later, we'll see the director, Anne Lazaro, where she had the chance to sit down with Deslin Long and discuss LaSalle Pep Band.
But first, let's have a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, the Novacare Student Athlete of the Week is LaSalle's men rowing 8+ boat team. They placed first in the preliminary and final race at Kerr Cup. They managed to win both races by over 15 seconds, which is very impressive. Big congratulations to them.
Number 2, the Explorer, the LaSalle University mascot, had the chance to attend the Philly Fanatics birthday party this weekend. He told me he had a blast.
Number 3, the Metro Atlantic Conference announced its end-of-season awards, with Martino Bonet-Ciaz and Francesca Coe both earning first-team All-MAAC honours. Additionally, 13 Explorers were named to the MAAC All-American team.
Wow, they had a pretty successful...
Very successful. That's awesome. I feel like they had a good season in the pool, but not as good as they'd like, but still.
And just recently, we didn't get to add this in there because we kind of filled the Philly Fanatic in, but men's swimming also had a really successful season. They had Felix was the first to compete in the NCAA since the 90s.
Oh, wow.
And they have, I think, I should have wrote this down. They have a lot of like personal records broken, like school records broken, program records broken, and that's really good. I feel like
they've been working hard because I saw, because they competed after, a few of them competed after, like Felix competed after the NCAA and he was dead, he was cooked. So it just shows how much.
It's definitely hard, but they
put a lot of work in.
They definitely put all the work in. They deserved where they got them, and I'm
very excited
happy for them. That's it for the top 3. Now let's take a look at how our teams did this past week. Women's lacrosse had their final on-the-road game this week against George Mason. The first quarter was a roller coaster, with George Mason striking first. 4 goals in the opening 8 minutes to put the Explorers on their heels. But LaSalle showed grit, responding with 4 unanswered goals to tie it up, capped by Sam Klein's 3rd goal of the quarter with just 1 second left. Klein finished the opening frame with a hat trick, while attacker Katie Johnson added another to round out LaSalle's first quarter scoring. George Mason took control in the second quarter, netting all of their goals to end their halftime with the lead. Katie Licciardi broke the scoring drought for the blue and gold midway through the third, but the Patriots responded. Molly Maloney then scored the cut the deficit to 10-6. George Mason added a late goal to close the third. In the fourth, Alana Lathan and Emmy Waldron each found the back of the net to keep the Explorers within striking distance. However, George Mason sealed the game with a pair of late goals to put it out of reach. Final score, George Mason 13, LaSalle 8.
Just a week after securing 4 wins at the Schuylkill Invitational, the Explorers men's rowing team raised the bar with 5 victories at the Kerr Cup on their home river this past Saturday. The morning began with the preliminary races to qualify the afternoon finals, and the first 8 and second 8 and third 8 boats all took first place in their respective heats. The varsity first 8 boat crew delivered a standout performance, finishing more than 15 seconds ahead of the second place ruckers. In the afternoon finals, the first 8 boat improved its time by 4 seconds and once again dominated the field, beating George Washington by over 15 seconds. The second 8 crew added another win, taking first in a highly competitive 6-boat final that concluded Big 5 rivals Drexel and St. Joe's.
Women's golf closed out their season with a strong showing at the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament. held at Evermore Golf in Orlando, Florida. The Explorers secured a 5th place finish, topping St. Joseph's and trailing only Duquesne, Loyola Chicago, Dayton, and champion Richmond. Senior Paige Sermonero led the way, posting the lowest scores for LaSalle on both day 1 plus 76 and day 2 plus 52, eventually finishing 19th overall in her final collegiate tournament. The Explorers' best team performance came on day 2, with juniors Nina Okankova and Sydney Levery delivering the best rounds of the event at plus 13 and plus 15. Respectfully, Okankova finished 22nd, while Levery landed in 24th. On the final day, freshman Samantha Song shined, shooting a team best plus 13 and wrapping up her debut season with a 21st place finish. Song averaged just 13.2 strokes over par across her final 6 rounds, nearly the lowest on the team, signaling a bright future ahead for this rookie.
Additionally, LaSalle University women's rowing team delivered its strongest performance on the season on Saturday at the Kerr Cup, held on the Schuylkill River. The varsity 8+ earned a silver medal in the grand final, securing 2nd place with a time of 7 minutes and 47 seconds. In other races, both the 2nd varsity plus boat and the novice 4+ boats earned bronze medals in their respective finals. Earlier in the day, the 2nd varsity 8+ boat also claimed 1st place in their heat, setting the tone for a successful showing across the board.
The Explorers track and field team had a busy weekend, competing in 2 meets across 2 states. Some athletes traveled to Charlottesville, Virginia for the Virginia Challenge on Friday, while others stayed closer to home to compete in the Paul Donahue Invitational, held Friday and Saturday at the Virginia Challenge. Helene Usher led the way in the women's 5K, running a strong time of 17 minutes and 4 seconds to finish 8th overall. Neve Millet also raced in the event and clocked a time of 17 minutes 34 seconds. On the men's side, Kayla Murray and Shano Muir finished nearly together in the 1,500-meter run, with Murray posting a time of 3 minutes and 57.32 seconds and Muir close behind at 3 minutes and 57.49 seconds. In the 3K steeplechase, David Butts ran a time of 9 minutes and 19 seconds, placing 14th overall. To close out the night, Matt Hill finished 13th in the 5K, clocking it at 14 minutes 29 seconds.
Meanwhile, at the Paul Donahue Invitational, Ricky Lee ran a time of 3 minutes and 59 seconds in the men's 1,500-meter run, earning 19th place. In the women's 15, Gillian Levitt secured the win with a time of 4 minutes and 33 seconds, while Georgia Rose Dawson followed in 4th place at a time of 4 minutes and 37 seconds. As Matt Hill finished 3rd in the time of 14 minutes and 34 seconds, and Melda Bockenberg came in 5th with a time of 14 minutes, and Stella Hammond placed 8th with a time of 18 minutes and 3 seconds. Nevaeh Davis delivered a standout performance in the sprints, earning a top 5 finish in the 100-meter dash with a time of 12.2 seconds and placing 5th in the 200-meter dash with a time of 24.86 seconds. In the field event, Casey Brown landed a 5th place finish in the triple jump with a mark of 11.18 meters, while Mariano Logan placed 14th in the long jump with a distance of 5 meters. Very successful.
That's pretty good, right? For
That
track?
is really
That
good. Yeah, really, really good. I think the race in Virginia it was very good, but because of the conditions, it was super windy. People didn't run race as well. But it's all good. I feel like not just with track and field, the golf and the rowing.
Yeah, teams ending their seasons. We had women's golf. They finished out pretty strongly. I think their season was really short. I feel like.
It was really, yeah.
Yeah, so there's only 4 of them.
I'm gutted. I wish they could, we could go and watch them or, have it more live streamed.
I'll go to Orlando, Florida and go.
Oh, who's paying? I'm joking.
Tanya. Anyways, they only have 4 people. 1 is leaving, but then we have Samantha Song, who is the freshman rising star, best scores of the week. That is very promising for their team going forward.
I've gotten to know her quite well, and she's very enthusiastic, super happy to be here, just willing to give everything a shot, so I'm super excited to see her.
Yeah, I interviewed her, and she had that same mindset, and that's a really good rookie mindset, and I hope they get more recruits coming in next year. I'm hoping. Yeah. I want them to have a bigger, more team, because they're all nice girls. Yeah. And then we have our men's rowing. They did really good.
I just feel like they have a standard, and I think they just continue to reach it or even go over that. They've been beating teams with 15 seconds ahead consistently like that is very
I
impressive.
remember like in the past too, Drexel and St. Joseph's were
Very
their
good
very big
competitors.
competitors, and that's pretty much who they were looking out for. That's who they were practicing them out to beat, and they did it. They overcame it this year, and that's
they've got a few more races to come. I know their season doesn't finish until later on. So hopefully they can just continue
keep the
building.
success up. That's what we need. Like more. Usually we see the success in the beginning, then teams
slowly down.
Not going to say names, but that's just what the trend's happening. So if they're doing this later on, that gives me more hope. Maybe we're switching the sides around. And then we have lacrosse again. Their last couple games, they've been very close, very close knit, very hard competitors.
Are you joining that team next year?
If my rugby schedule doesn't get too busy, maybe.
Maybe you can do both. You can do both. You can do it all.
But the last couple games, they've had some really hard competitors that, like, in the past, they haven't had the best scores against them. So I'll take the 13-8. It's a lot better than a 24-2.
I'm gonna give it to them. They get beat by a lot, but they still they still turn up. They still practice, like I said, and they keep. But I see them smiling all the time, so I mean, as long as they love it, it's fine.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You have to really love what you're doing. You have to love the coach, love the people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going out and performing.
I know they're a big team, so they might be.
They're really close. Yeah. I feel like a lot of our teams here are very close.
Yeah, no, they are actually very nice.
Yeah, and then track's close.
Track's very close. I'm excited because obviously we've got one more big race coming up next week. But these results have been coming in like very consistent. Super nice to see them, like people progress and getting the times they want to do.
And then we see Stella Hammond's name.
Stella Hammond, of course,
what a star player! What a star player, Stella. Good job. Proud of you.
Awesome. She actually she had like a nosebleed during the race, and she continued to run.
Trooper. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Ange is taking over on the sidelines with a member from the pep band. Stay tuned.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Children exposed to poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children with good air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this, providing filtration technology to school children with poor air quality through the Clean Air for Kids program, helping kids to breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, removing barriers to learning, reducing sick days, and increasing test scores. This is all key to environmental and climate justice. Find out how you can help at iqairfoundation.org.
Welcome back to SportsLine. I'm your host, Angela Zaro. Things look a little different this episode. I'm normally behind the camera, but for this episode's of On the Sideline, I am with Des from the Pep Band. How are you?
I'm doing good, Ash. Thank you for having me today.
So this past season, the Pep Band has made like a soft launch of returning to LaSalle and the games. Can you like go more into like what you guys do at the games and what your like goals are for being there?
Yeah, of course. I think soft launch is actually the perfect term for us. So, there used to be a pep band at LaSalle, years and years ago, but we kind of gone off on a bit of a hiatus, if you will. But just last semester, we had a brilliant director by the name of Turner Gray, who was picked and tapped to be the new band director. And so Turner has basically just been reshifting and reorganizing everything. And so originally at the beginning of like the fall semester, around the middle fall semester, right before basketball season, we only had like about 6 or 7 people. Now we're up at about 10 or 11 people now. So like we've been growing and growing and growing. And by the fall semester of 2025, I believe we'll be about 20 plus people in now. So so soft launch is the perfect time for us. We been going around on campus showing off our skill set. And then by the next fall, the fall coming up, we're going to fully be back, have a whole lot more students with us, and we're really going to be making our mark. So what that entails, though, is that we play at the basketball games. We play at the men's games, and we play at the women's games as well. And so we're just there playing, whenever there's a bit of a break, when a team's not on the court and everything, we're playing, trying to get the crowd high, get the crowd active. And we also work in conjunction with our cheer and dance team as well. So when they're like running across the stadium, throwing the T-shirts and everything like that, we're the ones that are playing along with them as well. So we, as far as sports go, we try to stick to basketball and the 2 basketball teams, but we're hoping that we can do more next semester.
I've noticed at games, you guys are very coordinated in with, they're like dancing to the songs that you guys are playing. So I think that's really interesting too, how it like fully encompasses the whole game and it makes everything connected like that.
Yep, absolutely.
And how do you guys prepare for games? Like, how do you come up with the songs that you're gonna play and like the order and things like that?
So all the songs are chosen by our band director, Turner Gray. But what I like about Turner, what he does is that he told us that for this year, for this semester and this year and everything, for this season that just passed, all the songs they were kind of like temporary songs. They were kind of for us to test our waters, to let us stick our toes in and see what we can work with. And we're going to be playing some of those songs next semester, or for future semesters as well, but we're also going to be playing new songs. So what he does is that he asks us, like, hey, what are some songs you guys think would be good for us to play? And I always ask him if we could play Tweaker by Jello Ball. But so when we get these songs, we have practice 1 day a week. Practice lasts about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we really just nail home these songs, make sure we know what we're doing, and make sure we have them under our fingers in preparation for game day. So last season, what we did was we actually had our games, either the women's games or the men's games, Wednesday nights or Saturday afternoons. So a lot of people, you might hear us playing, like, wow, you might think we've like been practicing, but that 1 day of practice really does help us, and especially how the way that he actually arranges some of the songs himself, he's able to put them together themselves, and so he writes them in a way that they're easy to get under your finger and easy to play as.
And like, technically you guys are a team, and you got to work together to play these songs. How important is like building that connection with each other?
Oh, building the connection is absolutely important because, with songs, it's not, almost any song does not rely on one instrument. Say, for example, one of the songs that we play is Crazy in Love by Beyonce. So the trumpets, they start off like bum, 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 and then the saxophones take over, and they take over the melody and start singing the main part that everyone, I look at this so deep in you. Right? They start taking over that part, and then the trumpets come back in. So all the instruments will work in conjunction with each other in order to make that sound. And so if we don't work together, let's say if I don't practice my part or someone else doesn't practice their part and they don't know their part, the whole thing gets thrown off. And so everyone has to be able to know their part and know that if you don't know it, the whole band's going to suffer as a result. So we all work in tandem with each other. We've all become very close friends as well, being in the band. Again, we would see each other 2 to 3 times a week for hours and hours at a time. So we have our own little inside jokes that we do. I know for a Dollar Dog Night at one of the men's basketball games, we had a little bit of a hot dog eating contest going on. I stopped at 4 hot dogs, but I think my fellow band members, Alex and Cooper, who play piano and trombone, I think they were tied to like 9.
Yes.
And then they both.
I heard about that,
yeah,
actually.
And they had the last hot dog too, and so it was like they both were like tied even. So we get along, we work well together, and it kind of, I think, really also helps us reinforce that, like you said, we are a team. The same way the basketball team has to get along and work together, we have to do the same thing.
And now with the future, with adding more members to the band, how do you see that transforming the pep band as a whole?
Well, I think that it'll allow us to have a lot more opportunities the more and more people we get. So just for example, for last semester, last season, I should say, again, we only have about 10 or 11 people. But just this semester alone, we played at the basketball games. We played at the blue and gold events for the incoming students. We played at the university's charter dinner with President Allen and all the other alumni speaking and everything such as that. So we really get to show what we are capable of and put ourselves out there. And I think that having more members will allow us to do that even to a better capacity, I would say. It's like, for example, the rugby team, women's rugby team, that's one of the sports that is coming in fall 2025. We are working on a plan for us to be playing at the rugby teams. You know, you see a whole bunch of universities with their football team, the pep band is playing. Even though we don't have football, rugby is going to be our football. So we're going to be there playing with them. We're also working on a plan for us to play at some of the water polo games. I mean, I know just recently Jason Kelsey was at like the senior night for the water polo game. So we are going to be there and we're going to be playing as well. We want to show the university community what we are capable of. And also, Turner, if you're watching at home, I apologize in case it's supposed to be a little kept secret. We're also starting a jazz program as well. So we're going to be having the pep band, then we're going to be having the jazz program where we work on jazz songs for us to have concerts for the community and everything. We want music to be a big part of the LaSalle community. Music is a big part of almost every other university. And so the way I see it, why is it not a big part of LaSalle? And so we're working on building that up. And right now, by the looks of it, we have the members. Just as of today, before the May decision date for all the students coming into LaSalle, I work in admissions, so I know that our freshman class is around 400 people right now that have committed. Our pep band is going to be growing to about 20 plus people now as well. So we're definitely growing in numbers, and we're going to make ourselves known on campus.
That sounds great. That sounds really great. So shifting a little bit to more towards you. So you play trumpet in the pep band. How did you get started in that?
So not to reveal my age or sound too old, but I started playing the trumpet 10 years ago, actually. 10 years ago, this year, actually. So it started when I was in fourth grade, around like fourth or fifth grade. And our music teacher was going around classroom to classroom saying, if anyone wants to learn an instrument, here you can do it. And so she gave out a paper, and I remember I circled trumpet, and then I had to put a backup instrument. I put trombone. So growing up, I love Louis Armstrong music. I listened to him with my parents. I always watch movies like Madagascar, where they play "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong. And so I've always loved Louis Armstrong music. I said, he plays the trumpet, I want to play the trumpet too. And so I learned, and I worked hard and hard and hard. And so I've been playing all throughout elementary school, middle school, high school. I played for citywide bands down like the Philadelphia All-City Orchestra. I played for our high school band at Central High School. I was in our jazz band. I was in our full orchestra. I was in our concert band. I was president of our pep band. Like, the trumpet's always been something that's been a part of my life. And so it's just, when I first came to LaSalle, that was the first time since in my entire playing career that I had stopped playing the trumpet for a while because we didn't have a music program here. So when I found out that we're getting a pep band, I was ecstatic. I was like, I can finally get back into it because I had to, granted I had to relearn and get my chops back to what they used to be, but it was like, that year-long stretch for my freshman year, that was the longest I've ever taken not playing the trumpet. So just being able to jump back into it, it was amazing.
And I think LaSalle does a great job at giving students the opportunity to expand and pursue other hobbies besides like what you're majoring in.
Absolutely. And for our freshman students that are coming in from anyone beyond starting next semester who wants to join the pep band, they get a $5,000 scholarship too. So not only is the university allowing their students to be able to expand their horizons, but they're also giving them incentives as well to help them with their academic studies, to help give them a leg up, if you will. Like, hey, you can do this and also get paid to help with your tuition, to help with your housing and everything by doing this as well. So I think the university is doing a great job in kind of making sure that our band program is known and also becomes ingrained in our university society.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Gwen and Riley will talk about all the upcoming games for next week.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California, and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
Welcome back. We have a busy week of Explorers sports, so here's what you have to look forward to. Men's golf will finish up their A10 championship game this evening, also in Orlando, Florida. Men's and women's track will travel to Penn University to compete in the Penn Relays.
Men's rowing will compete for the Bergen Cup this Friday, while the women will compete for the Kelly Cup also on Friday at the Schuylkill River. Lastly, lacrosse will have their final game Sunday versus Davidson at noon. Ooh.
Women's rowing back in action, also a very strong team.
Really strong team, yeah.
I feel like they can also get pull some big numbers out, big placings, hopefully.
I feel like when it's at home, like when they're competing at home,
Schuylkill,
you do get like an advantage.
Their little boathouse there.
Yeah, they don't even have a boathouse, you know. They share one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that interview with Ange, that was super good.
Yeah, thanks Ange, shout out Ange, but that was really good. Got more insight on the
Very
band.
insightful. And I feel like the pep band, it's nice actually that they got that interview time.
Oh my god, yeah, that, and it's definitely like interesting. Like at a basketball game, like I'll definitely like be hearing it. I'll be like, yeah. I never really really paid attention,
though, don't they?
Yes, definitely.
Makes us like shout and celebrate with the team.
Yes, and then lacrosse will have their game against Davidson, which Davidson has a record of 11-4.
Oh.
So this is kind of like a little fun rec game, I feel like.
Oh, I feel like there's a lot of seniors on the lacrosse team, so maybe their final push, the last dance.
Hopefully, maybe that could be it. That just about wraps it up for us this episode. Find out more about LaSalle Athletics by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLine LTV. We welcome you to send your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Riley Kapchuk.
And I'm Gwen. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.